Well, here's an aha for you. This is the greatest time ever to be alive. I mean, think about it. Would anybody say, no, no, not today, 1742? No, no, not today, 1387? No, we'd pick today. And there's an interesting thing about today. Right now, in the United States of America, there is a massive renaissance, a massive breakthrough happening in entrepreneurship right now. Almost 500,000 new companies getting started every month. And that is in part because of AI, because AI is the greatest new category of creation technologies ever invented. And so if you think about it, the reason today is the greatest time ever to be alive is we can produce more value with less things than was ever possible before. And what that means is our level of personal agency is dramatically high. There's never been a time in history that is better, that is more powerful for those of us who see opportunities, who see problems, and we say, this aggression will not stand, man, or this opportunity, somebody must go for this and be that person, because the resources and capabilities for one person today to produce legendary results has never been like what it is right now. That's the first piece. The second piece is I want to share with you a conversation I had with a dear friend of mine, successful guy, sold his company, lives in the Midwest, and a lot of his friends were telling him that he should retire. And he called me to talk about this. And I said to him, let's just call him Freddie. I said, hey, Freddie, you're going to sit out this? You're going to sit out now. AI, robotics, space. He spent his entire career in tech. You're going to sit out the most creative time in history and retire young? That's what you're going to do? And he laughed. I just talked to another friend of mine, incredibly successful executive. She said exactly the same thing. She is thought she was going to retire, and she's back. Why? Because now's the greatest time in history to be a person who's entrepreneurial, to be a person who's going out on their own, to be a person who wants to category design the markets of the future. Now's the greatest time in history. And so why not? Why would you wait? Why would you wait one more second? The future is screaming and calling to all of us right now. And the tech gets better and better and more powerful every single day. We feel it in our own little world. We're a 3-person company and we can execute like a 30-person company. And I personally have never felt more creative, more innovative, and I'm going to use this word on purpose, more powerful than I do right now with the partners that I have and with the technologies that we've been able to exploit and train to our massive advantage. That's the opportunity. And so sitting out now is insane. Now's the time to stand up, not sit down. Now's the time to go for it, because there's never been a greater time in history for those who want to create legendary value in the future. And so if you're waiting, stop waiting, join the Academy.
Some of you may be wondering, when is the right time to join the Academy? Let me give you an example. When I left Cambridge, I wrote an article in HBR about why General Mills should sell its cereal business. Not an article I could have written beforehand, because we were owned by Nielsen and General Mills was a large client of theirs. But I felt strongly about it. The cereal category had been on the decline for a decade plus. And unless you believed carbs and sugar were coming back anytime soon, if not ever, the reality is today is the greatest time to sell the cereal business, because the value was only going to go down. And so when you ask yourself, is now the right time? Ask yourself, what's the value of knowledge work and what is the trajectory of it's going? What are you doing now? Maybe you have a great title. Maybe you have an entrepreneurial business. But if you are somehow tied to knowledge work, if you are somehow tied to trading time for money, and you are somehow tied to letting other people dictate your life versus being a creator capitalist, just know that our view is that the value of the work that you probably are doing now is at the highest it will ever be and will just be going down from now. So that's kind of point number one. Look at General Mills, the cereal business. They did not sell it. Kellogg's did, and they've been much better off for it. Number two, when should I invest in the stock market? If I invest now, maybe it'll go down. And that might be true. But the reality is, timing the market is not nearly as important as time in the market. And you are better off being in the market as early as you possibly can. And yes, there may be a reason why not to push into the market all at once. And maybe you want to, dollar cost your way in. But the reality is, you need to make the decision to move into the market because time in the market is what you really want. Time value of money. Now is the right time to do that. And so timing of the value of knowledge work and what you're doing now is only going down. Time in category design, much like the stock market, and becoming a category pirate and a creator capitalist is really now is the time, and the value is just going to compound. So maybe it's not perfectly the right time, but we never said category design or being a creator capitalist was being a day trader. You want to be a long-term horizon investor, and if that's the case, you're going to be fine. And the last line that I'll leave you with is really about emotion and about joy and about love. And it comes from the movie When Harry Met Sally. If you've not watched the movie, you should watch it. But the very last line that Billy Crystal drops at the end when he convinces a very irate Meg Ryan to not be angry with him, he says, when you realize you want to spend the rest of your life with somebody, you want the rest of your life to start as soon as possible. One of the great lines from the great rom-coms. And that if you believe that your future as a creator capitalist is what you want for the rest of your life, like we plan to do this work until we die, and then probably beyond that, is that this is now the right time to live into that life. And so is the timing right? Is it perfect? Who knows? Probably not. What we do know is that the value of what you currently do probably going down, the compounding value of being a creator capitalist probably going up over the long run, and the lost opportunity to do what you love and to be paid to create is going to be something that you will regret. It's been our experience. If every day that you delay is a day of regret that you'll have.